Please give a huge ComicCon welcome, first of all, to Scott Drake, Portfolio Creative Executive, Marvel Global Portfolio, and Scott. John Mauro, Portfolio Executive Producer, Marvel Global Portfolio. Dan Fields, Executive Creative Director, Disney Live Entertainment. Caroline May, Creative Director. Steven Spiegel, Executive Story Editor. And Beth Clapperton, Creative Director, Walt Disney Imaginieurs Paris. Oh yes. Welcome all folks. Have a seat in these surprisingly comfortable chairs. Super comfortable. I have to say, first of all, forget being a rock star or an actor or playing for Liverpool. You guys have the coolest jobs in the world. How do you start? How do you become an Imagineer? Scott, what was your path?
Well, I think there's so many different diverse, crazy, cool, like engineers, artists, creative types that bring these experiences together. My background, I always was drawing, painting. I went to school for design, studied car design, entertainment design, and then just fell into this, crazy business of themed entertainment.
Amazing.
Dan?
I'm actually a theater director by training, plays and musicals in New York and Seattle before I became a creative director at Imagineering, because it's all one big stage in the park.
Wow.
I started in theater as well as a playwriting major, worked in advertising as copywriter, and then wrote for television. That all, I feel, made me a better, well-rounded, Imagineer coming into Imagineering with that background.
Fantastic. So basically anyone here could be an Imagineer. Do you take journalists who are down on their luck? Because I may be talking to you guys backstage afterwards for exciting opportunities. But let's talk about Avengers Campus. That is why we're here. It's tremendously exciting. So basically you're going to see a number of slides and pictures and previews of what you can expect from Avengers Campus. But first of all, Scott, I wanted to ask you, look at the characters we're going to see. Look at them, incredible. These are the characters that you're building Avengers Campus around. What was the exciting part about bringing these iconic characters to life for you?
You can't look at this picture and not see the excitement that all of us feel. Obviously, probably everyone in this room, all of us, we are all fans of these extraordinary stories, these dynamic characters, and when we watch these films, I believe secretly we all believe that one day we're going to be asked to step up, become something more. What are we going to do with that great power? Avengers Campus is the place where you get to finally step into those roles and train and recruit alongside these extraordinary characters.
Indeed. And Dan, what was the exciting part of this for you?
It was really bringing them to life, but in a way where the heroes can interact with the guests. That's really the special part. It's not just putting them on display or even just taking a picture with them. It's being part of their world, part of their story.
And Beth, who has the coolest baseball cap I've ever seen, for you, again, what was the exciting part of this, bringing these guys together?
Oh, well, firstly, what was really exciting was for me as an Imagineer was actually being with all of these new teammates, my Marvel teammates, because I really didn't know that much about the world of Marvel and the MCU before I started on this project 4 years ago. So that was really exciting for me, and seeing how the collaboration works between Marvel and Walt Disney Imagineering. So that was a whole new world opened up for me when I started working on the campus.
Fantastic. And as Nick Fury once said, there was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people. And we've obviously done that here today on stage, but it's also something that applies to this collaboration between Imagineering and Marvel Studios, who are behind the MCU. Can you talk about that collaboration? John, can you talk about how that came together and how exactly that worked?
Yeah, I think one of the great things of working with Kevin Feige in the studios is that Kevin is such a huge fan of our parks and what we do at Imagineering. So he is incredibly eager, and was, to bring his characters, his heroes, his stories to life so that our guests could interact with them in a very personal way. So that really started us off on the right foot. And what we've done to date with Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout in Anaheim, just opened Guardians attraction, Cosmic Rewind in Florida.
Yeah.
We've been working now for a few years with them, and it's been an incredible partnership. Worked really, really well.
So one of the things, we're working with the top, filmmakers, directors, writers, artists, and we get access to all of them when we're working on these projects. And one of, our key collaborators at Marvel Studios has a little message for us.
A little video. Here we go.
Hey everyone, how's it going at ComicCon in London? I wish I could be there. Unfortunately, I can't. I'm here at the studio today, although I really wish I could be there with all the amazing Imaginieures, my partners in crime that are there to take me through everything Avengers Campus. My name, by the way, is Dave Bouchard. I work here at Marvel Studios. I'm the Vice President of Franchise Creative and Marketing. I have the amazing honor to be able to work with the amazing Imagineering team there that's with you today, and many others, including the team in Paris, that helped bring Avengers Campus to life. Just a few short weeks away from everyone there getting to see the awesome work that everyone has put into bringing Avengers Campus to life this summer. It's been, like I said, a thrill, an honor, an unbelievable journey, many years in the making, and really thrilled to be out there in a few weeks with everyone to see it at our opening event. Again, wish I could be there with you today, but I'll turn it over to Scott and team now to take you through some awesome stories and some amazing background on what everyone is going to witness and experience this summer. And I can't wait to see you all there. Thanks again. Bye.
There you go. Thank you so much to Dave for that. And it's absolutely. Give him. He's not here. We can't hear you. But let's give him a round of applause. Absolutely.
Yeah, Dave's been a great partner, and as he said, and Scott was saying, it's the visual development team, it's the writers, the directors, the producers, the ability to get all the talent, all of that support helps us so much bring these characters and these stories to life. So we're really excited about it.
And this is a universe. One thing that's become clear is through 28 movies now and counting, 6 TV shows and counting, that everything is connected. And that is a principle that you have applied as well to the Avengers Campus. So it's worldwide, it's global. Can you tell us more about the Avengers Campus Global Initiative? Scott, let's start with you.
So we know that these stories are all interconnected, and we have an opportunity in the parks like we never have before. We are telling a global story with these characters that are larger than life. And that allows us to have more Easter eggs than we ever have spread throughout telling this global story. And it all started in Hong Kong with the Iron Man experience. And that is the first time that we told a story that was set in our world, and it launched us into this adventure that now we're seeing unfold across the globe, and it's all been working up towards Paris here opening this summer.
Yeah, what's really cool about working with these properties is that they exist in our world. So we can set them realistically for Iron Man experience. We set it in Hong Kong Disneyland. The backstory is that Iron Man, Tony Stark, made a deal with Disney to put his Stark Expo Hong Kong at the park. So where it's appropriate, we can totally acknowledge that that exists and the heroes exist. It's really fun.
And on that story, the entire battle takes place in Hong Kong Harbor.
That's right. That's right. We were originally thinking, oh, maybe it should be New York, but it's like, no, let's lean into where we are. And Hong Kong's been destroyed in so many movies. We might as well jump in on that.
And so Stark Expo was the first to open in Hong Kong Disneyland. Can you give a little bit more detail on what people can expect if they go there?
Well, it's actually now it's 2 attractions, but the first one is Tony's showing off his new vehicle, the Iron Wing, and you're supposed to get a tour of Hong Kong in it, but unfortunately Hydra attacks the city, and you're caught in the middle of it, and a great adventure. And then there's also an Ant-Man and the Wasp adventure as well.
Yeah, Ant-Man and Wasp Nano Battle. It sets right in the Stark Expo in a SHIELD facility, and you get caught up in this incredible adventure where we shrink you down to fight off these Hydra swarm bots, and it's super fun. So
I think it may be the first time we've ever done like attractions that have related, like, you know, because they're both having this Hydra attack simultaneously in different ways. But yeah, it's super cool.
Sounds amazing. And then last year as well, you opened the first Avengers campus, and that was at Disney California Adventure Resort out there in Disneyland Resort. What can you tell us about that? What can recruits or expect to find on missions there?
So we wanted to represent the diversity of Marvel superheroes and making sure that we had something for everybody, and to create a place where you could come and learn, train, grow, and having the idea of a campus that could bring together all of these diverse characters. And if you look around the campus, every address is based on the design attributes of that character. So we get these great settings, we get great characters, and you get to step right in and be part of the action. Because like I said, the world needs more heroes, and we all get to be a part of it.
And John, I believe there's a Guardians of the Galaxy component to this as well. There's a mission you can go on.
Yeah, there is. Actually, the first phase of Avengers Campus in Anaheim opened 5 years ago with Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, and it was the first attraction, you know, to feature these characters, these heroes in California. And so, you know, we're a little bit nervous. How would our fans react? How would our guests? But they have really embraced it. It's become, you know, really one of the favorite attractions. And that obviously was the launching pad into what we developed and grew into the rest of Avengers Campus there.
And speaking of the Guardians, you opened very recently, like it's fresh, the paint is still fresh.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, in fact, on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is at Epcot at a Walt Disney World resort. How's the story different there, Stephen? How will...
Yeah, well, we were leaning into the idea that, like, hey, let's celebrate the fact that we are at Epcot. So, you know, the backstory is that the planet Xandar, I'm sure many of you have heard of the planet Xandar, after the Xandar Kree battle, decides, you know, because with the help of the Guardians and the Ravagers, they were able to save their planet. So they have decided to send outreach centers throughout the universe to reach out across the stars to make more alliances. And so they asked Peter Quill, because they wanted to place their first pavilion on Earth, or Terra, as they call it, and they asked Peter Quill, who's from Earth, where they should put it. And backstory, we said that he went to Epcot as a child, which, you know, Epcot, of course, is also a child of the 80s, so it aligns so perfectly. And of course, Quill says, well, you gotta put it at Epcot, it's the totally coolest place in the world. So now we have our first Other World Showcase Pavilion. We totally acknowledge that it's at Epcot. It's been, you know, literally just opened yesterday, and it's been really an incredible experience to
I'm gonna jump in on this only because it's too exciting not to, because obviously the stories that we can tell and the context for how we set these stories, exactly what Steve said, we go deep into the backstories and how we communicate all these. At the end of the day, it's also the most fun ride you'll ever go on, and we're trying hard to figure out how we explain this all new ride system that has a programmable yaw. So as you're sent flying through space and time on this journey with the Guardians, it's a wild ride like no other. So definitely put Florida on your list as well as Paris.
And don't just confine yourself to the land as well, because you guys are bringing these experiences to the sea. There's an aquatic element also. There's a launch of a new ship, the Disney Wish, and the new dine-in adventure, Avengers Quantum Encounter. What can you tell us about this, John?
Well, actually, before you do that, I'm going to roll back just a couple of years, because we've been actually with Marvel out on the ocean for a while now. In 2018, we started Marvel Day at Sea on the Disney Magic. So only in January, you go on the ship, and overnight, the whole ship transforms into essentially a huge Marvel convention. There's almost 24 characters, there's 18 different events and shows, and it culminates with an immersive Stark Expo at nighttime on the top of the ship in the middle of the Caribbean Ocean, where there's an epic stunt battle going on. So that was our first foray, and now that we learned some lessons, now we have the Disney Wish just about to set sail.
Yeah, that's right. We have a new cruise ship coming up out this summer, ready to launch. And we've added even more experiences. And we have this amazing dinner show with Ant-Man and Wasp sort of featured, as well as some other familiar faces that we won't reveal yet. But it's great. It brings these characters to life, these stories to life in a way that's so immersive. So while you're sitting down for a couple hours having a whole dinner, there's literally a story unfolding around you. And finishes with you actually seeing these characters. So it really is a very special experience. So we're really proud of it, and hopefully you'll get a chance to book a cruise too.
And Dan, this must play into your background then as a theatre director, because live entertainment is such a huge part of these experiences.
Yeah, theater and events and experiences, all of these words are starting to gel together, especially in our Marvel-created world, in our parks and on our ships. So for example, we started really with these kinds of celebrations, with creating immersive environments even just for photo opportunities for guests. But then making the heroic encounter, instead of a meet and greet, we're having heroic encounters with the heroes in a more immersive and story-driven place. That led us to the next level, which is atmosphere entertainment, which is really about immersive storytelling, where you, the guest, participate in the show or the activity or the experience with the heroes. And these are some of our examples from around the world in the past few years. And then lastly, we get to the iconic action, the stunt action, seeing your favorite heroes doing the kinds of things you've always dreamed of seeing right in front of you. So those are all the parts of the puzzle that have been leading us to Avengers Campus in California, and then even more so, really, in Disneyland, in Avengers Campus in Disneyland Paris.
Amazing. I saw one of the pictures there was portals, people opening portals, and I firmly believe the portal scene in Endgame is the greatest achievement in human history. So I am absolutely there. I am sold. But let's head over now to Disneyland Paris. Let's talk about Avengers Campus Paris. Dan, let's stay with you. You previously launched, back in the summer of 2018, you launched Marvel Superheroes United, not a football team, but how did that feed into Avengers Campus? How did that inform what you're doing now?
That was one of our first attempts to see if we could take the elements of stunt, which in our world is really about action, and seeing that iconic action heroes, and make it story-driven. So concurrent to the MCU telling an epic Thanos story, we told our own Thanos story with more than a dozen heroes in a live stage show, but in a truly immersive way, where you were really drawn into the action spilled out into the audience. And really the test case to see, could we do the kind of level of action on stage with live performers that you expect when you see an MCU film, and the results were good, so we're sticking with it, and we have more to show when we open the land in July.
Amazing. And as you know, there is so many years of history to delve into here. There's almost 80 years of legacy. There's stories and characters and of course amazing art, which is showcased in Disney's Hotel New York, the Art of Marvel, which opened last summer. And Caroline, I wanted to ask you about that. Can you talk about the intent behind that and the creative intent behind opening that hotel?
Yeah, so Hotel New York was actually an existing hotel. We felt like it would be such a great opportunity to add Marvel in a very thoughtful way, because Marvel is this iconic New York brand. This is where the superheroes are from. And early on, many times, this is where the artists were from. And they would be inspired by New York City as they looked outside their window. So the idea was to create this hotel that had these very contemporary interiors that feel evocative of interiors we've seen oftentimes associated with Tony Stark, like the interior of Avengers headquarters, but to make this into a contemporary art gallery where we're celebrating that 80 years of art, but also celebrating more recent art. So working with artists from all around the world to create exclusive or limited edition pieces of artwork that you can only see here. And I think Hotel New York, The Art of Marvel is a really great example of a more celebratory style of experience. So we're celebrating the Marvel brand for being this pop culture icon, which is completely differentiated from the experience that we're creating in Avengers Campus, which is much more of immersive storytelling. And then one of my favorite parts of the hotel, obviously, is the Skyline Bar, where you go inside and you're completely transported to the top of a skyscraper, where you're looking out on Marvel's version of New York with Avengers headquarters, and then every once in a while you'll see one of your favorite Marvel superheroes.
Amazing. Have you guys all been to the Skyline Bar?
Oh no, we don't drink.
We have. What's really neat about it is it feels as though you were looking out real windows, and if you were there long enough, you'd see it actually change from day to night over the course of the day. It kind of matches even what you're seeing outside. So it's really fun. It's really magical.
Excellent. It sounds like a challenge, John, to stay there long enough to see that happen.
It wasn't a challenge for John, apparently. He stayed all day in the bar.
So, after that hotel opened, the next obvious step was to create an entire land. Hence, Avengers Campus. This is a preview. This is an actual picture of what it's going to look like in Paris. And Beth, you recently recorded a video that introduced the Avengers Campus experience to the world. Now, I could just ask you to say that all again, but it'd be much easier just to play the video.
Let's play the video.
Let's play the video.
This is it, recruits. The moment you've been waiting for. It's just around the corner with the opening this summer of Avengers Campus. I'm Beth Clapperton, Art Director at Walt Disney Imagineering Paris, and my mission is to give you a taste of what awaits you at Avengers Campus. It's really a unique place like you've never seen before. You'll be able to live your own story amongst Iron Man, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and others. There's a surprise at every corner. You'll never know who you might bump into. First stop is the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, also known as Web. Team up with Spidey and shoot your own webs to help capture the out-of-control spider bots before they wreak havoc on the campus. The cool kids that are running the place are organising an open house day, and you'll be able to discover the latest inventions that they've been working on. My spider sense is telling me that you might get to see a familiar face amongst them.
Hey guys, I'm here at Walt Disney Imagineering working on the new Spider-Man attraction at the Avengers Campus at Disneyland Paris. I can't wait for you guys to experience this.
Next, answer the call of the Flight Force at the brand new Avengers headquarters for a thrilling and high-speed chase across the galaxy and help us save our planet with none other than Iron Man and Captain Marvel.
Hi, Brie Larson here. I am so excited to be reprising my role as Captain Marvel for a super thrilling attraction at Disneyland Paris in the new Avengers Campus opening this summer. Get ready to go higher, further, faster.
And you'll definitely not want to miss out on the opportunity for a session at the training center where you can exercise alongside Spider-Man and Iron Man. After all this action, you might want to take a break and recharge. From Pim Kitchen to Stark Factory, you'll have plenty of choices to refuel and enjoy delicious treats. From heroic counters to the action-packed adventures, prepare to be a part of the bigger universe this summer at Avengers Campus.
There you go. Amazing stuff. Beth, I love that PowerPoint. That was
Avengers Campus Paris, you're all coming this summer, right?
That's how we're going to end. We're going to point to people. That is a true PowerPoint. So that was Brie Larson. That was Tom Holland.
So, Chris, I don't know if I'm more excited about, being featured between Tom Holland and Brie Larson, or because the campus is opening this summer and you all can come and experience it. So it was a super fun project to be part of. And I want to just remind us again about the high-level story. This campus, you all are going to come as new recruits. Why? Because the world needs more heroes. We know this. And so Tony Stark said, well, we need to build these. We've got this global initiative, let's build these campuses, and that will enable us to find people like you, discover them, train them, and then recruit them to become the next generation of superheroes. So that's what we're doing here. And what you can see in this shot is a piece of concept art of the campus that you will discover this summer. Into a very beautiful place, a wonderful combination of old architecture and new, sleek, contemporary Stark architecture. And of course there is an amazing piece of a flying vehicle in this image that Scott's going to talk to us about, which is the Quinjet.
Yeah, the Quinjet. Wow.
So the Quinjet is this iconic, Avengers transport, and for us in the land, we're always looking for key visual icons to take you and drive through the story. What was really fun in this, and now that you know my background in vehicle design, I love anytime we can add a vehicle to our immersive design. So the Quinjet for us is something that we designed specific for Avengers Campus. It showcases in California and in Paris. What was really cool is this was one of the times where Marvel Studios actually took the design from Avengers Campus and put it in one of their films. So it can be spotted in Avengers Endgame. I won't tell you how short it is in that, but it's there. So I love those kinds of Easter eggs that work both ways.
That's great. So roughly, without saying exactly where, first hour, second hour, third hour?
Near the end-ish.
Near the end-ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
It hits a dark point, but the Quinjet's coming and may bring us back to some hope.
Okay. So once you see the Quinjet, you know everything's okay. All right. So I don't need an excuse to rewatch Avengers Endgame, but now I have one, which is very nice. And so here we are. This is what the Quinjet looks like. Designed, of course, by Scott. And there's another vehicle as well, which transports the Marvel heroes around.
The Avengers Deployment Vehicle, the ADV, allows us to transport heroes around the campus, as you should. So Tony Stark designed this with a little help from the Wakanda Design Group. It's a vibranium-powered vehicle.
Amazing.
And as I said before, we're always looking for ways to get not just our ride vehicles, but through the land, having not only icons, but then we actually built this. If we go to the next slide, we'll see that it is a real thing now that will be driving through the land, transporting heroes, great backdrop for photos, and just shows you that the Avengers are on the move.
Yeah, in that last image, you also saw the Dora Milaje and General Okoye. Any Black Panther fans here?
Yeah!
So part of the experiences you'll have there is that General Okoye is going to teach you about the tenets of the Dora Milaje, and you'll have an opportunity to train with her alongside the Dora Milaje and become a warrior ally of Wakanda. So there's some really deeper messages as well as some awesome action in Avengers Campus.
That's great. So there's no corner of the MCU that isn't represented in a way. You got Wakandans, you've got the Guardians. It's fantastic in that regard.
We have the local heroes, the global heroes, and the cosmic heroes, and all the stories in between. And we've created this story framework that allows us to grow over time, because as you said, none of these stories are slowing down anytime soon.
Indeed. And guests at Avengers Campus aren't just going to be guests, they are recruits, and they're going to be involved in a there we go, look at that. They're going to be involved in an incredible ongoing adventure, which brings us very neatly onto this. This is the first time I believe anyone has spoken about web.
Yeah,
What is web?
This is, well, first of all, I should also add, some of these photos have never been seen before because we literally just took them before we came in, which is fun. So you're getting to truly get a sneak peek into our campus before anyone else. And what's really great, again, this idea of a campus, it gives us a chance to showcase so many different places, characters, stories in a way, and the idea of a campus allows us to unify it and put it all in one place. It also gives us an opportunity to continue to add new stories and characters over time. And with our Avengers Campus in Anaheim already open for a year now, we've already had an opportunity. Dan's already brought in a number of different characters from recent shows on Disney Plus, as well as from film releases as well. So that's what makes this really special, really dynamic. It's always relevant, it's always changing. That's what we really love about this place. But getting back to what you see here, WEB, which stands for the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, is really identifying this building, this structure, which is showcasing the latest inventions from these set of young geniuses, engineers, scientists. So again, it becomes a unique story that we in the parks have created, but has been embraced by everyone else in Marvel as well. So you'll start to see it actually even in comic books and elsewhere. So we're really excited about it. But to give you a little preview more about the web story and about the experience on the attraction, I'll turn it over to Steve.
Sure. As Scott said, our campus has a diversity of addresses for the different heroes, and we wanted to create one because Spider-Man's a pretty popular character, and we wanted to give Spider-Man his own facility. But it is, at the heart, it's Peter Parker. Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and he's a teenager. And he wouldn't have his own building. He wouldn't be running his own place. So we wanted to create this organization, the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, that basically was started by Tony Stark to invite all the young geniuses and engineers of the Marvel Universe to one place, give them this tech like vibranium from Wakanda and alien tech and all this cool stuff to play with and see what they could come up with to help the heroes. So today on the campus we have an open house hosted by Peter Parker, where he's going to be showcasing his web slinger vehicle, which allows everyday guests to be able to sling webs just like Spider-Man. So really excited to show that off. But he's also, being a kid and being a genius, and he's super excited. He's got this other project called the Spider Bots that he can't help but show off. And unfortunately, they get into this self-replication loop and start duplicating themselves and start taking over the campus. So he has to call off the open house and ask us to jump in those web slinger vehicles and help web up spider bots. And it's just an incredible technology. You really feel like when you're on there, it's very interactive and very dynamic, that you are right along with Spider-Man helping to save the campus.
I would say, and I've said this before, because every time we did the first mock-ups of this technology, we've all been pretending to shoot webs since we were, forever. But the first time we did it with this new technology and webs shot out of our hand and we could recoil it, we could play with this web, it was instantly a win, and we're so happy that it's now deployed onto this attraction that everyone gets to experience. It's super fun.
That sounds so cool. I mean, I've been doing that for years. I'm sure we all have, right? We've all been doing the, And now you can actually do it and have something come out of your wrist. That's amazing. But the story of Web continues. It doesn't just finish there. Then once you leave the web slinger vehicle, you enter mission equipment, where residents and recruits can actually gear up. Caroline, can you talk about this? I mean, how does merchandise deepen the storytelling?
Oh, merchandise is so important to the overall experience, and so as you exit into this gift shop, it's separated into two different areas. One where you can show your affinity for web, and one area where you can commemorate your experience through Avengers Campus product. But for us, it was really important to work with our merchandise partners and to develop product that actually enhances your experience and makes you feel like you're a part of the story and a part of the action. And we were able to do this with Spider-Bots, which you heard about. So you can actually take home your very own Spider-Bot, which in essence is a battle bot. And you can also purchase tactical upgrades for it that are each inspired by the different superheroes. And then I think one of the coolest pieces of merchandise that we created, which is truly unique and unlike anything we've done before, is the Webtech Gauntlet. And that actually gives you the ability to have a completely different power set on the Spider-Man attraction. So instead of shooting webs like Spider-Man, if you're a big fan of Iron Man, you can purchase the Webtech Gauntlet that's inspired by him and actually have repulsor beams. when you're in the attraction. So this is such an amazing experience. It makes the ride so much more exciting and repeatable than anything that we've really done before.
Amazing. So a campus, the very notion of a campus suggests a place brimming with life and energy and heroes as well. So, Dan, can you tell us more about the heroes we might bump into?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I think it's becoming clear. There's roaming heroes all over, but we want you to look to the rooftops in Avengers Campus. You're going to find Avengers Unite, where Black Widow and Black Panther take on an incursion by Taskmaster and some of his henchmen throughout the day in Avengers Campus. Down at ground level, of course, Star-Lord and Gamora are there, also trying to look for recruits. But of course, Star-Lord is really only interested in doing a dance-off, so there's another way of getting involved there. The roaming characters, the roaming heroes around the land also stop here at the Gateway Portal, where a number of heroes like Ant-Man and the Wasp are there to have heroic encounters with the guests and play some games with the kids with some of the PIM particles. So there's something going on wherever you look. One of the other exciting parts about this is because instead of just a character in a corner for a meet and greet, these characters, the heroes, are all around the land, and they're also interacting with each other. So keep your eyes open to see some heroes interact with each other who you may not have ever seen come together before.
I think it's really important to emphasize what you're saying, because it really does bring it to a whole new level. When you just see these characters just naturally running by and fighting on a rooftop, you feel like it's really happening. It feels very natural, very organic, and instead of just standing and posing with a character in a more traditional way, it really is done in a way that is so magical, so immersive. And I know we use those words a lot, but it does make it so special.
Or as I like to say, the Avengers campus without the Avengers, it's just a campus.
And nobody wants that. But that immersion, that's obviously a key goal for you guys, right from the off. You want people, you want guests, you want recruits to feel surrounded in this world.
Yeah. So that's why there's this training center as part of one of the addresses at the campus at Avengers headquarters. So there's a couple of different opportunities there. Tony Stark has made a room specifically for Spider-Man, tricked out so he can test new equipment, new web fluid, and there's an opportunity for you to come in and train alongside him there. And then next door, the Avengers have their own set of training rooms, and so as you learn about what the meaning of different action stances are, we document it with this multi-frame, freeze-frame technique. So not just a traditional photo takeaway, but a moment of action that you stage and frame for yourself. So we're really looking forward to seeing what you guys bring in your training when you come to take these photos.
I'd go full on repulsor. Yeah. I'd have to. It's such a cliche, but I'd have to do it. And obviously, after a long and busy day of training, whether you danced off with Peter Quill or you've been trained with Spider-Man, you want a chance to recharge, right? So where can you recharge at Avengers Campus, Beth?
Well, so we can recharge in a couple of places, but let's take a look at this one first, which is the Stark Factory. And I don't know, Tony Stark was very busy when he was developing this new campus, but he didn't just pick anywhere to build this new campus. He actually picked a site that his father had already worked on. He'd established a factory and a cover for himself, Howard Stark, while he was working for S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's why Tony Stark actually built the campus there. So some of the buildings, as you can see, Stark Factory here used to be, in the old compound, it was a place that Howard Stark assembled vehicles in. So Tony, in the new renovation, has pulled out all the equipment and turned it into a workshop where he and his Avengers pals can repair their equipment. There's one pretty impressive piece of equipment being repaired right here, which you will see right at the entrance to this restaurant. There's other equipment that's stored around this restaurant, so it's a pretty immersive place to come in and have a bite in between your missions.
I mean, we have to talk about the Hulkbuster, don't we? I mean, that's...
Well, I did say pretty impressive, and I think most people got it, right? You knew I was talking about the Hulkbuster.
Yeah. I mean, that's impressive. I'm not sure I could keep my mind on my food if that was next to me, but speaking of food, Caroline, where else is there to eat?
Yeah, so we've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp make just about everything big or small. So what if you applied that same technology to food and had oversized pretzels and mini burger sliders? And I think what's so fun about this restaurant is the juxtaposition of cast members who are wearing lab coats and who are making the food big and small right in front of you. And as you walk into the quantum tunnel, you see them mixing drinks that are really colorful in beakers and test tubes.
So the next slide is really interesting as well. There's an awful lot to dig into in this next shot, which is, you hear quite often people talk about how locations are a character in something. But this is actually true of this building, this Avengers HQ that Tony Stark has built. John, what can you tell us about what we see here?
Yeah, that's right. Well, for the first time, we've decided to have a character you may not be able to see fully, but you can hear. But it is rendered. We have Friday, as you all know, popular AI with Tony Stark. But what we really love about this character and this idea is you see Friday manifested on the side of this building, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But you also hear her throughout the land, and she interacts with a lot of the heroes in the land, with our guests as they walk through. So she really brings it to life. It really adds a new layer of storytelling, a new layer of immersion that we really find compelling. And then, of course, just with the beauty of the lights and the movement and the music, takes on a different feeling as well at nighttime. It really turns it into a magical place.
I'll just add on to that, our lands have become so technologically advanced that we have all of these show systems to immerse you in this design, and especially if you're in a Stark-built facility, not only do we have the old Howard Stark facilities, but we should have the most advanced technologies as well, and that should be all run through this advanced AI. So having Friday as a character that is really programming the land, sensing threats, communicating with new recruits. This is something that we've never done in a land before, and it will definitely feel different than any place you've been before, even other campuses that we built before. So, and this is a first look at our exterior of Avengers Flight Force.
Well, what exactly is Avengers Flight Force? What can you say about this?
So Avengers Flight Force is our brand new attraction for Avengers Campus. It's located at Avengers Headquarters, which is right in the middle of the campus. And this is where you get to walk up. You've been training with all of the Avengers, and now you're stepping up as a recruit. And right when you get up to the front door, it's yellow alert. And when you step inside, Steve will tell you what's happening.
When you step inside, you learn that Tony Stark has been monitoring these Kree warheads that are headed to the Earth. Captain Marvel is out in space chasing them down. He's trying to find other Avengers, and there's no one available. But we recruits are ready to step up and get in these vehicles and help save the planet. It's a thrilling, exciting ride. It's the next best thing to actually being able to put on armor yourself.
And speaking of armor, so we step into this room with Iron Man. He's right there. He's now pointing at you and giving you the direction that you need to join him on this mission. And to do that, we worked very closely with our partners at the studio to develop an all-new Mark 80 suit of armor for Iron Man. And you get to stand right there next to him, as I said, as not only is he letting you know, Captain Marvel is also calling in because she's hot on their trail. And this is when the story turns from watching the story to unfold to now you're literally right in the hot seat. And I say that because the next slide shows that you are being launched into space to be right in the middle of this battle with Iron Man and Captain Marvel.
That's amazing. And presumably in the video that we saw earlier on with Beth, and her good friends Tom and Brie. Brie Larson was talking about reprising the role of Captain Marvel. Is that maybe what's happening here?
That's almost exactly what's happening there. But also, outside of story, Brie Larson is a fan of Disney coasters as well. So this is such a great blend of taking all of that energy of this amazing character we've seen on screen, putting you right in the middle of an attraction that we know is already incredibly compelling. And like I said, you see the new vehicle we have, a beautiful new coaster design that launches you into space. So I think this has all the parts and pieces, and with all the tests that we've done, we can attest that it will, launch you into space, and it'll be this incredible journey that you'll remember forever.
Could Brie Larson have been an Imagineer?
I mean, yes, she was right there with us. She was an Imagineer. Anyone that touches this attraction gets that credit, I guess.
You know, as Scott said, you can imagine what kind of job we've got. We had to test that a lot, many times. It was horrible.
Not horrible.
So, I mean, I love a good Easter egg. I think we love Easter eggs, right? And I imagine that this park is laden with Easter eggs and little hidden details for the ultra nerds like me to spot. Caroline, can you tell us about what lies in store?
Yeah, so every single number in Avengers Campus signifies something. So one example is on the Quinjet, you'll see the number 61, and that's because the Quinjet first appeared in the comic book issue number 61.
Very nice. I like that.
And, as Beth and Scott have said, the campus has a history as a former Stark factory, but it also has a secret history as the beginnings of S.H.I.E.L.D. started there. And somewhere on the campus, you will discover what they discovered when they were remodeling is that they broke through a wall and found Peggy Carter's original office. And you yourself can see this. And there's all kinds of Easter eggs within this office, but my favorite one is there's a map where she continues to be looking for Steve Rogers after his disappearance. So Peggy never gave up looking for him, and you see that in here. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
So my favorite Easter egg, we see in the MCU how referential they are to other films, and they can have Easter eggs. In Avengers Flight Force, when Iron Man finds out about this threat incoming and Captain Marvel's on the trail, he's looking for all help that he can get, and he calls around to all other Avengers. It happens to be that he's calling Avengers that are in other attractions around the world, and they just happen to be busy with all of these other attractions. So it's really fun to have that interlink to other parks around the world, and have these other characters that may have their moment in Avengers Flight Force.
That's great. And I just, without going too much into spoilers, obviously, I want to ask everyone else, do you have a favorite aspect of Avengers Campus? John, let's start with you.
I think for me, it's just this idea, as I was saying earlier, that it can continue to evolve. It's never stagnant. It's always changing. You could come back again and again, and it will feel different. And I think, as Steve was alluding to with the idea of some of the Easter eggs in the map and things like that, for the super fans of this universe, you could spend all day there and just looking at the details, and you're not going to pick everything up. We have written so many layers into this story that you can start to peel back. And that's some of the best of what we do at Imagine. That's what we love to do. That's what we love to share with our fans. So for me, that essence of what Avengers Campus is as a whole is exciting.
And Beth?
So I think I've got to say that the thing that I really like about the campus is the way that as a new recruit, you're going to come into here and you have access to a much bigger universe. So we're going to take you out really big, and at the same time, we're going to give you access to your own everyday inner hero, and so you can go as far as you want and as deep as you want. And I think if we're going to help you do that throughout the whole day and all of your training missions. That's really what you have access to, and I think it's super important if we can be in touch with our own inner hero. We can come away with that. We've succeeded.
And Dan, what about you? What's your favorite part?
I didn't even mention that Spider-Man is also up on the roof all day, testing out stuff, trying things, doing his flips and swinging around. So I'm excited for guests, especially young guests or Spider-Man fans, to be able to see him and talk to him all over the place during their visit to Avengers Campus.
Fantastic. And Caroline, you've already talked about the Easter egg, your favorite Easter egg, but what about the park in general, the campus in general?
Yeah, I think with Avengers Campus, it really is one of the most immersive lands that we've created in Disneyland Paris, where you actually feel like you're a part of the action. And that was something that we focused on a lot when we were thinking about what these attractions wanted to be, and even the merchandise. Like I said before, the design of all of that product was from the viewpoint of the Worldwide Engineering Brigade and what they would create. So it's those little details, that deep storytelling and authenticity that I think we've really brought to the campus.
And Stephen?
Yeah, well, I think, as I said, I really love the diversity of the addresses, which gives us the flexibility to bring in, heroes, not just the heroes that we know today, but heroes of the future, and also to inspire the heroes of the future. That excites me. I just thrilled about this campus.
So I'm such a fan of immersive design and everything that the craft of what we can deliver when we're all putting our minds towards, a single story, a single vision. And this universe allows us to do all of our best tools and technologies to deliver immersion in new ways. So I'm always a fan of something that allows us to elevate our craft. And this universe, there's no limits to it. As we're continuing to see reinvent itself, that's the same thing we're doing and getting to work with so many extraordinary talents, both at Imagineering and with the studios. Everyone that touches this elevates it, and that's what's so fun. So I can't wait for all of you guys to experience it.
Absolutely. And just finally, Scott, we started with you. Let's finish with you. Can you talk about the core values? What do you want people to take away from it once they've had their experience at Avengers Campus? What do you want to stay with people?
Well, to me, and what has been driving us since the very beginning, is that everyone feels included, welcome to be part of this team. We want to be part of this bigger universe. So once you step in, not only are you right in the middle of the action, but you should leave there empowered and feel like, that inner hero has been unleashed and you're ready to take on anything. So I can't wait for everyone to come and participate.
Amazing. Guys, frankly, you had me at giant pretzels, so I am going to be there. The campus opens, of course, Disneyland Paris on July 20th. That is all the time we have, I'm afraid. Thank you so much for coming, and please give it up once again for the incredible Imagineers, Scott and John, and Beth, and Dan, and Caroline, and Stephen. Thank you so much for coming. Good night.
Avengers Campus opening early summer at Disneyland Paris.